more media. Blockchain news, crypto crews and interviews, keeping you tuned in to the ecosystem.
But yeah,
Kasha,
it is.
where you coming from? Your English is
Um,
good. Normally, when I speak to people, they're in the Europe, or they're in like, they have an Australian accent. You sound like
well,
you're from New York.
actually, I'm from the Midwest, but yeah, I've been to Europe once, but no, other than that, no.
So you're in the United States?
Yep.
Ah, cool, man.
Yeah.
What's with all the fuzzy porn?
Honestly, the first time I did it, it was because I was on one of those I'm up past 48 hours coding and I just released something and oh fucking I'm going to sleep. And then I woke up and, the way people reacted to it, some of it was funny, some people, but the reaction I liked best was that some people were like, actually, you showed me something I didn't know I liked. So I was just like, hey, fuck it. I might as well do that. I mean, since they're already gonna think, whatever they're gonna think,
The,
it doesn't bother me any. So I just kept doing it, and I guess people started to know.
the best part about it is that is that every Slack I go to has one of these channels in it.
Yeah, I know. Actually, some of them predate me actually joining the Slack. It wasn't like every Slack that I went to did that. It was just like like sometimes there was just one already there, so I was just joined it and just hung out.
That's funny, man. I go to BitTrex. I'm on all these Slacks. I'm like, how the hell does this guy get his own channel and every single
I know.
Slack?
No, you remember when one of the BitDirex guys created it for me? That was hilarious. Because I was like, I normally don't think of myself as like somebody super important in crypto. Like I'm kind of well known in crypto, and I think I'm really good at what I do. But I never really thought of myself as somebody important in crypto, and that kind of hit me a little hard. I thought about it and I was like, this guy runs a pretty big cryptocurrency exchange, and not only has he put up with me for this long, but he actually created this channel for me. Anybody else probably would have gotten banned by now.
Yeah, I'm well. As far as I'm concerned, man, you're the Andreas Antonopolis of the mining world.
Thank you. But yeah, I never really thought of
If
myself as,
if
that,
I
and that kind of hit me.
if I have any questions about mining and I need to go to the source,
Yeah.
of how shit works, you're the guy. I mean, as far as I don't know anybody else that does what you do. I mean, you've worked with. I've seen you work with Vericoin. Like you've worked with so many teams.
Dude, I mean, I've done dozens of different miners, and I mean, that's not even counting the little additions that I've done to, other things or, paid work or whatever. I'm just kind of hanging around, like the Vericoin and Varium place right now. I might do a little work for them. They wanted me to consult on, some, work on their miner, but it was. I mean, he's really just paying me to be there and ask questions and stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I mean, I was
Nice,
hanging around anyway.
nice. Yeah, well, that's one of my favorites. Very. Only because the wallet is so easy to use and it's easy to mine. I mean, you open the wallet. My mom uses it. No joke.
Hmm.
No joke. My before this, she was using another one that was easy, but then kind of died, and then it's been Varium ever since. And she just opens the wallet and pushes the button, and it's like coupons, like an old lady in coupons,
Yeah, I know.
she's like,
Um,
oh, I made $1.
yeah. The thing that I like about the thing is that I don't really focus on the user interface all that much, as long as it's not horribly, impossible to use, because I like to focus on the features and stuff. But I definitely see the need for a nice, easy user interface because a lot of people they see a computer, for example, and they think of it like a hammer. You use it for this purpose, whatever. It's but they don't see it for what it can be, what it does, how it works, etc. like that. And that's okay because I mean, they probably do a whole lot of other, awesome shit with whatever they do. But and that's why you need the easy to use, thing for them so that they can use their computer as a simple tool. And but you also should have, an advanced thing for people who don't, people who want to really use it to its full power.
Well, there's the engineering point of view, right? And then there's the the user point of view. User point of view, as far as the simple user point of view, we just want to push a button and hope it works the first time around. And then you got the engineering point of view where, we kind of like to push those cards to the limit, have those options to incrementally, push a little harder.
Thing is that I don't know, because the way you describe it, I kind of identify a little bit more as a normal user than the engineer, mainly because it's like, yeah, I want to push this button, I want this shit to work. That ain't gonna happen, but because I'm normally doing something undocumented or that you're not really supposed to do, and yeah, I'll eventually get it working. But if it works first try, fuck yeah.
Well, if it works first try, and it's at max, at the best it could possibly do, then yeah, that would be great. But a lot of times it'll.
It's not about the best it can possibly do, because that's always it approaches the best it could possibly do, but you never can actually get there. And the closer you get to the best it could actually ever do, the harder it is to get it any further, if you know what I mean. So at some point you're going to have to say, all right, I put so much effort into this, and putting extra effort into this at this point would just not be worth the gains.
I forgot to announce who you are. We're on air right now. We're live. And everybody who's listening in at the moment, we got a few listeners, even though I didn't announce it. But this is Wolf Zero, Wolfo. Is that how you go? I know you've been around since forever. I've known you. Yeah, I've known you for 4 years now.
Oh yeah, I remember. But generally, I'm known just by Wolf. But the longer one that I used for a more unique identifier was Wolf9466. That's why my GitHub was under that.
Gotcha.
It's often taken, yeah. So.
What could people find on your GitHub?
Shit, I don't actually post a whole lot to that GitHub. Let me.
Yeah, check it out. So let me, while he checks that out, I'll give you guys a little history. Back in the day, I was mining on something called LTC Rabbit, which was really, really cool. I thought it was like one of the awesomest pools ever. And
yeah, I remember that.
Remember, it had like a chat and everything, and it was it had its own operating system too. You could just like install it, and everything would run nice. And then I was having issues with my card, and Wolf came out of nowhere. He doesn't even know who I am. He didn't remember me, but he's the guy. I remembered him. Wolf came out of nowhere. And he's like, yeah, try this special miner. And I have these special algorithms for this, those type of cards that you got, and it'll work even faster than the other ones. And he gives them over, and I try them, and it was amazing, because I'm over there, a lot of.
I remember you weren't mining LTC at LTC Rabbit. LTC Rabbit was an X11 pool, and that was when I made that one faster X11 miner. I remember now.
Yeah, I was experimenting. Yeah, I was doing. They came out with X11 right after the normal stuff, and then I was like, oh, maybe it'll be better on the electricity. So yeah, it's expensive. Electricity here is ridiculous, man. Like in New York, forget it, man. It's like 24 cents.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I see people around here that pay, or on the internet that are in the U.S. and they pay 3 to 4 cents if they're in Washington, but or usually a lot of them get like 8 or 9 cents, and I'm sitting up here at like 13 or 14 cents, and I'm like, shit. But I got something they don't though, because I worked on this tool for Linux, and I can now on my Linux rigs I can have even more power over my cards than they do on Windows. I can undervolt, do offsets. I can even change things like the switching frequency of the voltage regulator. If you turn it up, basically it's more consistent. It uses a little bit more heat, but it's barely, noticeable. And if you crank that up, you'll get a lot more stable hash rate and less crashes and shit. So, just little things like that. I can do all sorts of stuff like that. So, I guess I can't bitch too much about having, 13 to 14 cent power, because I'm saving a lot of energy.
I need a special equihash. I just started mining equihash, I think it's called. Yeah, it's new to me.
Or equihash, yeah.
Something like that.
It's the first coin that came out with it was Zcash, Zero Cash, And yeah, I remember that was the one coin I didn't really do a miner for because I was busy at the time, and then everybody else was jumping on it because of all the hype, and I was just like, I don't really like this algorithm. It's not really all that fun. I got other shit to do, and there's a whole bunch of competition. So, I figured I'll take a pass on this one. But yeah, I've done dozens of different miners over many different algos. So
I'm doing it just for Komodo. I really like Komodo.
oh, okay.
I know everyone tells me, oh, you should just mine Zcash and sell it and buy Komodo and you'll make more. But you know what? It's a lot more fun just watching Komodo. Just go into my wallet from nowhere. It's just like all of a sudden these Komodos are coming out of nowhere.
Well, I mean, I am not a fan of Ethereum, and I actually have a little personal conspiracy theory about Ethereum. But I really, really do not like that coin. But hell yeah, I'm gonna mine it. It's profitable. So I just mine it, dump it, and then any coin that I actually like or believe in, I can turn around and buy that with the Bitcoin. So
Could you believe this Bitcoin price, bro? This is insane. It's at 18, almost 1900 today.
I know, right? And I've been sitting here hoarding Bitcoin from selling certain projects and stuff like that. Let me check Prev to see what my stash is worth.
I remember people at 900 like, oh, this is the top. This is gonna be the
Yeah, I know.
We're lucky if it goes to 1,000, dude. That shit is at 1900. What are they talking about?
Yeah, my personal stash is worth 17,360. That is fucking awesome.
That is awesome, dude. And you know what they're saying?
And
I mean,
good thing because rent is coming around again.
oh, I hear that, man. I know. You know what? It hurts my soul when I have to like sell waves or sell like a coin to buy something. I mean,
it
got
doesn't really to me because it's like if I have to sell a coin that I really like and it's not at a high point, then I do feel bad. But
yeah, it hurts.
I usually keep some Bitcoin liquid just for emergencies and things like that, so I don't have to sell a coin that I really like and believe in at a low point.
Yeah, well, sometimes you have to do what you got to do. I like waves. I sold a lot of waves at a low point, and man, that hurt because then I saw that shit go 3 times. Then I saw it go 3 times, and man, I was really crying on the inside.
Dude, you remember what was that one called? Vanilla Coin, and then it rebranded to Vcash.
Yeah, Vanilla that was an old coin.
Yeah, I made one of the first GPU miners for that coin. I mined so many of those, and I dumped them. I got a couple Bitcoins for it, and you know what? I mean, I'm not saying I would do it again because I could have made like 20, 30 BTC if I had held it, but it doesn't really bother me a whole lot because it's like, I couldn't have known that shit was going to blow up. And I mean, a couple of Bitcoins was some good profit for, not long riding the GPU miner. So, I mean, what the hell?
Yeah. I mean, what was that? What's that government coin that just flew up like freaking 20 times? Yeah, Ripple. What the hell is that about?
I have no clue. Out of all the coins you would think that are just gonna, just come out of nowhere and just make a reappearance, Ripple is not one that I would have thought.
Yeah, no, I hate Ripple with a passion. I hate it.
I just think it's stupid. I hate Ethereum, but Ripple, I just think it's stupid.
It's the fact that they officially publicly said that they would bend over backwards and do whatever the government wants them to do, and that's just not what Bitcoin's about.
Yeah, and I agree with that. But here's my story about Ethereum. All right, I was hired to integrate Ethereum support into SG Miner. Right? This is a long while ago, and well, you remember when ETHMiner still you had to generate the DAG on CPU and have this DAG file on disk? That was like multiple gigabytes.
No, I didn't do that
okay.
Personally.
That's all right. Yeah, it was a kind of a short-lived period in Ethereum mining because I actually just straight up told Claymore, look, you dumb shit, generate the DAG on the GPU. It takes an RX 480 about 4 seconds max to do this. It takes the CPU about 10 minutes, and then you still have to load it onto the GPU. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. So yeah, he took that idea, and he didn't credit me, but that's all right. My post is still there. But anyway,
Nice.
yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's what I did with my SG miner. But the reason why it irked me so much is because, like the daggone GPU thing, it was obvious that was how it was meant to be, but for some reason the implementation was just so horribly botched. And I actually had to rewrite a large portion of CPP Ethereum's mining related code to actually go into SG miners simply because it was unusable. And once I finally got done with it, I was like, man, this is some shit. So, I looked at it, and it said somewhere on their wiki, oh, yeah, we spent a lot of dev funds on 3 different implementations of, the client, but they said most of it went to CPP Ethereum, and I was like, wait a minute, most of it went to this piece of shit? And then I started thinking, if I had a whole bunch of dev funds that I wanted to embezzle, what would I do? I'd find a whole bunch of my friends who were, rudimentary coders at best. I'd pay them like they're excellent devs, have them churn out this piece of shit, and then they kick me back some funds for the privilege. Like, I'm not saying that I have any evidence whatsoever that this has occurred, but goddammit, I believe it.
That's with Ethereum?
Yeah, I believe it,
Wow.
because the CPP Ethereum code was that bad. Now, GE,
Gotcha.
the Go implementation, that's what everybody uses, and it's actually alright. That actually wasn't bad, but most of the funds went to the absolute worst implementation, and that does not sit right with me.
What is your favorite coin? Just curiosity. Which one do you like the most? And me personally, I like coins that are more anonymous, and keep your
Same here.
privacy and freedom.
But I got, I'm kind of stuck between several. Monero I like a lot, but Sia coin is a coin that I really like. It's not anonymous. It's about as, the transfer of Sia coins is about, as traceable as Bitcoin. However, what you can do with Sia coins is that you can rent out your, storage space, HDDs or whatever, for Sia coins, and then you can also pay to store stuff. It's basically cut into chunks, and then each chunk is uploaded to a different hoster, and then it's done with redundancy. So for example, if some hosters go down, it's okay, you can still get it back. And so it's a decentralized storage system. And another thing that I really like about this is because it's anonymous in its own way. The funds are not. However, your files are encrypted and stored in there. They don't know what they're storing because they don't have the key, and unless you share a file with somebody and give them the key, they can't, have access to it. So nobody can prove that you really have access to these files or what these files are.
Isn't that is I it sounds like storage because I was just mining storage, and that's the hard drive mining you're talking about.
Yeah, the thing is that well,
What's
first, Sia actually beat storage to the punch with actually getting a working product out. But another thing about storage is that it reminds me too much of Ethereum. Not the scammy part that I was just saying that I think it is, but I'm talking about, it reminds me too much of, the stink of really rich investors just pouring money into it, and, having such a surplus of money that they have all these devs and too many cooks in the kitchen, and, you know what I mean? I don't see, people really enthused about the project that they're creating.
Gotcha. I just asked him for an interview. That I forgot his name, Wilkinson or whatever his name is, and he never got. He said, "Oh, I'm too busy." I was like, "All right, too busy, too busy." But
yeah.
you know what I didn't like? I have 40 terabytes of storage sitting here,
Damn.
and I went to Mine Storage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have a really nice GUI. Remember, it's same idea we were just talking about it. Nice and easy. Boom. Only problem is, it only does 3 hard drives. I mean, I got like 20 hard drives over here. What am I gonna do with 3 hard drives?
Well, you could make a massive RAID array, but I mean that's just way too much work to. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It has a wonderful, GUI. Yeah, that's another thing. It has a wonderful user interface, but it lacks that control under the hood that I really like. That Sia has. And Sia's working on file sharing too. So what I really like about that is that even in the nice, easy to use GUI, there's a tab for the console, so you can go and use that if you need to.
So you're saying I should try Saya, because I've never tried it. I've never even I heard about it, but I never we actually just came out with an article on coremedia.info, talking about all the different burst, right, burst coin. There's an article on, it just came out last night, on the different hard drive mining types. So coincidentally, this
isn't really hard drive mining. What it is it's really kind of a marketplace, because the algorithm, like when somebody wants to rent storage, it uses an algorithm to find people offering basically a competitive rate. So you can jack up the price as much as you want, but you'll probably never get rented until the average rate gets close to what you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we should call it renting. We should call it renting instead of mining.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's renting. But right now, I don't believe SIA is extremely mature. So if you want to mess with, if the nerd in you wants to go and mess with a really cool thing that's coming out but isn't really ready for prime time yet, for example, there's a whole lot more storage on SIA than there are people storing files right now. So you're probably not going to get a whole lot of coins out of renting out your hard drives. But if you get the experience and things like that, and you really want to play with it, I really think it could go far. And I think that it's cool to be a part of it now when it's not.
Right. You want to be you want to be one of those early adapters.
Yeah.
So how about burst? You heard of burst? I was mining burst a while ago. The only thing I didn't like about it is that it wasted all this space. So the renting idea is like awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of. It's like proof of work. It wastes the work that you're doing. It's just there to prove that you did something. I've not, honestly, I can't really say that I have much of an opinion on burst, because besides hearing about the hard drive mining, I didn't really look into it much. I mean, so many coins out there.
It was interesting. They like plotted points on the drive, and then
I heard somebody made a GPU assisted one where basically you still needed the hard drives, but it would fill them faster, so that like your CPU would fill them at kind of a slow rate, but then you could use your GPU to accelerate it, and then fill your hard drives faster to mine it better or something. But you still had to have the storage, so it wasn't really a huge gain.
Yeah, it would take forever to plot the points. And then the GPU came out and it was a lot faster.
Yeah.
I think there was one more. There's another hard drive mining one. MadeSafe. You try that one?
Oh God. MadeSafe. I don't really want to say anything bad about it, because I really think that they really believe in their product and they want to get it out. But I just think it's never coming out.
Exactly. I was just gonna say it's like the man behind the curtain. I've never seen him before. He's always there. Everybody knows about him.
It's like he's going proof of stake. It's like the boogeyman. Everybody's gonna be like, oh, yeah, it's coming. No, it ain't.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, I've been seeing that for years, MadeSafe, and I can't use it. I mean, like what? I have no idea how to touch it. I've heard it. I haven't had you touch it.
That's why I don't really want to say anything bad about it, because I really do think that they're trying and that they're into their product, kind of like the guys in SIA are, and that's kind of what I didn't seem to see in storage. But which is why I don't want to say anything bad about it. But it's just like y'all really need to focus on getting something out for the users. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll be patient. I will wait. Lord knows I know development takes time, but you got to give us something to gnaw on while we're waiting for the full product.
Yeah, give us a toy to play with.
Yeah, exactly. Just something to just show us, hey, this is how it's gonna work or whatever, and this is a little preview of what you can do now. Just something to use while you wait.
Cool. So Saya is your favorite coin, and thank you. I'm actually gonna try hard drive mining it tonight.
Yeah, either that or Monero. Actually, as a matter of fact, I think I have some, because you have to have some coins, I think, to rent because of transaction fees. So if you do set it up, hit me up on Slack or whatever, and I'll send you a few coins to get you started.
Oh, you need Saya coins to get it started?
Yeah, because basically transaction fees and stuff like that. Because you
Oh,
also
cool.
pay for bandwidth, like that. Because otherwise, imagine, you upload one super popular file and they turn on file sharing, and then all of a sudden somebody's server is getting bombarded 24 hours a day and they're not getting paid for the bandwidth. I mean, bandwidth costs just like everything else.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. What's your thoughts on Komodo? I mean, I like it. I like
I don't
I
know
like
enough about it to comment on it. I hung out in their Slack for a little bit, and then I lost my Slack channels. Long story, but and I haven't gone back to it yet. But it it didn't really capture my attention a whole lot, but it didn't disinterest me. So that's really all I can say. It wasn't disinteresting, but it wasn't riveting either. So I think, yeah, I'd go back and take another look at it.
what would it take to make me an awesome miner for Komodo?
Um, to be honest, man, I'm not so sure I could at this point.
Okay, yeah, at least you're honest.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things that I've done that is, stupid from a profit point of view, but I think is still important is that I've always told people about, my discoveries and things that I've done, not just because I want to, say, people say, oh yeah, that's awesome or whatever. I mean, that's nice too, and I like, getting people interested in it, but it's also because letting other people know that it's possible gets them to, work at it. And I've always been the type of person who, if you're really, if you're reasonably intelligent, you're willing to learn, you're willing to work at it, then, yeah, I'll help you along. So what happened there is that, I did that with optimizing X11, and, then people figured out, hey, you can optimize these algorithms. And then, they started doing it. And then I did a really nice Ethereum assembly kernel in all AMD GCN assembly. And now and then what was his name? I can't remember his nick right now, but it was some guy who made an Equihash assembly miner. It was Optiminer, yeah. And then Claymore jumped on the bandwagon and started learning GCN assembly, and he made a not only a Equihash assembly kernel, but I think he also made an Ethereum one, which I don't mind because it's still slower than mine by about 1.5%. But still, you know, if I
Nice.
hadn't done that, people would still be in the dark about it, and yeah, I guess I'd be raking in the money, but it's just like, I don't know, I've never been one of those, open source everything type people, because I feel like people will just use it. They'll never, appreciate it or appreciate the work that goes into it, and they won't value it. But if you tell people that it's possible and, give them hints, help them along, and, they teach themselves, then they actually value what they got, and they benefit from it too.
Right. You know, I'm looking at these fucking prices, dude. 8,850 bitcoins on Ripple today. Really?
Jesus. The exchange
Holy
gotta be raking it
Jesus
in.
Christ, man! What the hell? Oh, did you see? Did you see Bittrex increase their fee for withdrawing BTC?
Oh, for real?
It's 0.001.
It's about goddamn time. Hey, I've been attaching that exact fee to my transactions for years now.
It's I wonder why they did that. I mean, it was really cheap. It was the cheapest before. It was a point zero
You
zero
really have
zero
to, yeah, you
four.
really have to ask why they increased it.
Oh yeah, well obviously, yeah. Now you got.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, they've probably been getting loads and loads of complaints from people saying like, yeah, I withdrew, my Bitcoin from BitTrex about, 12 hours ago, and it's still unconfirmed. So,
Right.
yeah. But yeah,
Right.
I've
So
attached 0.001 to all my transactions for years. I have it. If you go in, since I use Bitcoin Core, if you go to settings, options, and then what is it over here? Oh no, it's not under settings options. You have to go to send, and then it says transaction fee at the bottom, and then you hit choose. I always set it to 0.001, and I think I'm gonna change that right now to 0.002.
or 0.0015.
Nah,
No.
I don't like waiting.
Yeah, no, I hear that, man. And that's I was just gonna say before you jumped in there. Yeah, that's probably why they increased it. Is just because I heard that they were looking for a new support desk person because they have a load of tickets with people asking the same question. I sent BTC, it's not going through.
Like, that's why I think they need to have like a frequently asked questions or something like that. Not because people see it, but because then you can refer people to it and then immediately close the ticket. That way you don't have that person being a time suck to, one of your, people, and they can go and process more tickets.
There's actually a website that increases, the block. It's called the Transaction Accelerator. Have you heard of it? It's
No.
www.viabtc.com.
Let me check that out.
And
I don't know how it would work, but let me check it out.
They're mining, and they somehow throw it.
It's a mining pool. So basically, what they do is that I'm guessing that you pay them to get your transaction accelerated, so called, and they just add it to their block manually, and the next block they mine confirms.
Exactly. Yep.
That's a clever way to make money off a pool.
Yep. There you go. I mean, it's becoming a staple for me. Every time I do a transaction, I put it in there and I do the little capture code and boom.
Yeah, but I have a question. Why would you do that instead of just paying a larger fee?
Well, sometimes it's coming from other exchanges.
Oh, I see.
Like if it's Cryptopia.
I wish more exchanges had an adjustable fee, because obviously it's being taken out of what I'm withdrawing anyway. So you might as well just let me set the fee I want.
Right. Exactly. So we don't have full control sometimes.
Yeah, I used 0.001 for years, and everybody told me, why are you doing that? You're wasting Bitcoin and everything. I'm like, you have to sit there and wait, for an hour for your Bitcoin to get to the exchange. My ass gets in next block. And a lot of times that can mean the difference between, arbitrage and not, or, whatever. So there are times where you really want to do that. And honestly, it's not even like that to me. It's not even like I do arbitrage that often. It's that it's honestly worth the money to me for just to not wait.
You remember the multi-pools? They were, remember the big fad?
Middle coin was the biggest first multi-pool. I remember that.
And you'd be able to mine proof of stake coins and then get paid out in basically any coin you wanted to.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. How it works on the back end is basically they switch you to mine whatever's most profitable, then they automatically dump it for you, take extra fees to compensate for that, and basically get extra money for their extra coding, and then pay you in whatever. They'll even buy your coin of choice with the BTC that they got from dumping what you mined, and then so it kind of automates the process, which is kind of cool. But honestly, like right now, I just logged into BitTrex and I have 1 Ethereum waiting for me, so I just dumped it, and there we go. I'm not going to withdraw it yet. I'm probably going to wait for another ETH and then probably withdraw it. But yeah, honestly, that's one of the things that I'd rather do it myself than pay extra.
Right. But how about if people were able to have their own program with the multi-pool, their own multi-pool?
Well, there is open source code out there. The thing is that it's not idiot proof, and that I thank God for. Because the last thing we need is more dumbasses who don't know anything about securing a server, running pools, and handling people's money.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
I agree for decentralization that we should have the pool code freely available, but it should not be super easy to use, because if it is,
you know what I like about it though the most is that it helped coins increase their value, by buying.
Not really. I mean, more often than not, it destroyed coins, because not a lot of people will buy into alts. They normally, the vast majority of people using multi-pools, they traded that shit to Bitcoin immediately, and, a lot of people won't dump Bitcoin because they're like, well, that's relatively, stable. I can be fairly sure that this is going to be worth something when I wake up. But, with the altcoin market the way it is now, also volatile, there are very few altcoins where you can, like put your money in it and go to sleep. So a lot of times they would just dump it to Bitcoin, and all these coins would just get destroyed. That's why there was a lot of hubbub about when there was multi-pools were really strong, when there were a bunch of them. There was a whole lot of coins saying, oh, we got a new algo and nobody else has this algo, so
Right.
it'll be harder to multi-pool mine, or we got this retarget algorithm that'll help us against multi-pool miners and stuff, because coins were just getting wrecked.
Yeah,
I don't know if the situation now is any better, though. Now we got,
there's no.
a bunch of government, or not government-backed, but, huge investor-backed coins, and there's only, like, 3 or 4 things to mine now, but
Right,
it's a lot more
exactly.
stable.
And there's
I'm not
not
sure if it's
that.
any better.
I don't think there's any more multi pools. I haven't seen any. I think that it's extinct like the dinosaurs.
Not really. Think about it. What does NiceHash do? It's not a multi-pool exactly because somebody is paying to mine or for your hash, but it still is the exact same thing. It auto switches to whatever's most profitable, and
Oh, nice hash. Yeah, I've seen this. I just went to the website. Yeah,
yeah,
this is the.
I have a big beef with NiceHash because they were really shitty to me when I was working for them. So I kind of steer people away from that. Plus, they have a 6% fee.
Holy shit.
They take 3% from both sides. So basically, if you want to buy hash on NiceHash, that's 3% taken from you. Now, the person selling hash on NiceHash, mining to the NiceHash server, that's 3% from them. And then they have the balls to complain about, or they have the balls to lowball devs and complain about, oh, you're doing this for the community and all this other shit. Yeah, the community isn't getting your 6% fee.
Gotcha. I used this once in the past. I remember. I forgot what I was mining, but I wanted like to insta mine it.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. That NiceHash is great for that. Another thing NiceHash is great for, testing pools. I helped out a guy on in Monero Pools. It's an IRC channel on Freenode. I did a little code for him for when he was making his pool. He's made the standard de facto pool now. It's awesome, because the old one was a piece of shit. But yeah, and I actually helped him a little bit with that. And he would load test the pool with NiceHash. He would rent like so much hash at a time. We're talking like he'd take like a Bitcoin and then he wouldn't even spread it out. He'd just like bombard the server for like a half hour straight, to like load test it and make sure that it was ready for the real deal if it ever got massive.
Have you tried testing out the new Radeon 5 series?
Yeah, I got I think 3 or 4 of them.
The 580s?
Yep. Couldn't find any 570s in stock.
Are they awesome or what? I might get a couple.
Um.
Just to replace these. I have the
Well,
R9
I
290Xs
probably
still.
shouldn't say this on the air, but the thing is that miners right now, they're scooping up the RX 400 series, like, they're going out of style because they're not being made anymore. And get this, at stock, they consume less wattage than the 500 series. Stock. But the 500 series are a lot better binned, better quality chips than the 400 series, usually. So, if you take the time to work with them and undervolt them, a lot of times they'll undervolt a whole lot better than the matching 400 series cards. So, thing is that these guys, are snapping up all these, RX 400 cards and driving the price up. If it goes up too high, I might just start dropping, my own RX 400 cards on eBay, and then scooping up the cheap, 570s and 580s off Newegg. If they keep doing this, because they either they don't know or they're just too lazy to really work with them.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, you know what? A lot of people don't know how to do the undervolting and that's,
Yeah,
you
that's why
really have to.
that's why I'm doing that as a service. I've got a load of PMs that I'm answering, and customers that I'm working with on like VBIOS modding the card's firmware and stuff like that, either for more performance or for better voltage or better power use, that kind of thing.
If people wanted to consult with you, and use your services, where can they reach you?
My Bitcoin Talk PM box is usually probably the best way because I mean, say what you want about Bitcoin Talk, it's popular, and the thing about popularity is that first of all, it draws all kinds, so you are going to get a whole lot of assholes, and it's the internet, so everyone's anonymous, so a lot of people want to show their ass. So obviously, Bitcoin Talk has a pretty bad reputation of being, just a cesspool, a bunch of trolls. But honestly, if you take the time to sift through it, it's popular. You can find good information, and I think it's a perfectly fine, way to reach me because I mean, honestly, if you're a miner, you're probably on Bitcoin Talk, or have somebody that is.
Gotcha. So they'll just what's your username on Bitcoin Talk?
Wolf Zero.
That's it. Wolf Zero.
Yep.
And I'm just trying to get you out there, get you because people are going to listen to this and be like, how do I get in touch with this guy? He sounds like a pro. I need to talk to.
Yeah, hold on. Do people who, if they listen, do they get the text from the TeamSpeak? Because I can link something there.
Oh no, we just use TeamSpeak for the sound quality. You're going to be on SoundCloud.
Oh, okay. All right.
Eventually, I'll put this on SoundCloud.
Okay, so they won't see the text. Well, that's all right. But yeah, I was gonna link to my profile or whatever just so that they could, if they wanted to. But,
you know what? Afterwards, we'll just you send it to me and I'll put it in the description on SoundCloud. Right. That's all.
All right, cool. Thanks.
So you're gonna come back next week? Well, we should do this weekly, man.
Why not? I mean, if I got time, what the hell?
Who knows? There's a lot of people getting into Bitcoin right now. Like weird.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's so weird. I got neighbors.
It's not weird at all because mining has gotten super profitable again, and that's why I've been, that's why Newegg was out of 570s. I hit up a few local Best Buys just to, even one of the local Best Buys was actually out of RX cards. So it's not just Newegg that's getting bought out of stock. It's even some local places. So these people are snapping up cards, and God knows 99% of them are mining with it. And that's why Newegg is having trouble keeping stock. Just like, the old days.
Yeah, I remember those. Those were fun. We used to find the deal and it used to be so excited. And then all of a sudden when it was no longer popular.
Mm-hmm. That's why MSI gave me $300 for a card that I bought at $240. Because the secondhand prices were driven up so much by miners that, they were just like, well, this is the price, so. And because of that, I like to stick by MSI.
Oh, okay. I have Asus cards.
I have some Asus cards too. I have three Asus cards. I have a Asus Strix 480. 8 gig, and I have two Asus Strix 474 gigs.
I have about 20, 21 and a couple broken ones.
Oh yeah, here.
21 R9 290Xs.
Nice. Take it from me. I have one of the best R9 2. Oh yeah, you might have it. It's the MSI Lightning 290X. It's the most awesome one they sell.
That's the one with the plastic on the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I destroyed mine.
Yeah, I know.
I did it. I was so tired out of my mind, and I was like, let me just do this one last test, right? So I was like, I was editing the VBIOS, and I upped the power limit because I wanted to have it take more juice, and it has 2 8-pins and a 6-pin, so I wanted it to take a little bit more juice. But what I fucked up is that was the power limit at 0%. You know how you can bring it to -50 and then +50?
Okay.
The power limit? So that was at 0%. So I brought the power limit up to it was 300 watts at 0%. And I meant to do that at +50%. That would be the highest it would ever take. So what it actually did is that when I started up the miner, it went to power tune +50, and it just gave the card carte blanche to do whatever it wanted with power, because if like 300 plus 50% is 450. So at least, probably over 400 watts went through the card, and yeah, that thing's dead.
But you could warranty it, no?
Oh yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, man. Take advantage of that.
Well, yeah, but I kind of feel bad. I mean,
it depends who you get.
It was my fault.
Yeah,
it was really my fault. And if they take that thing apart, it's probably going to have a blackened core, and I can't even flash the stock V-BIOS back and act like, I don't know what happened, because they're going to be like, because I can't even like plug it in and register it on the PCIe bus. Like,
it don't matter. It's worth the shot. I mean,
it's worth a shot.
It depends who you get. It depends who you get. Sometimes when you call up, you get somebody who's, asking a lot of questions, and then sometimes you get somebody who's, yeah, I'll send you the label, no problem.
Well, no. They check them when you send it back.
Right, they investigate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they don't even have to check the V-BIOS to see that it was modded, because it was, and I can't flash stock back, obviously. All they have to do is just take the cooler off the card and look at it, and they're gonna know, what the fuck did this guy do? And it was honestly my fault, and since MSI has been so good to me, I don't really want to, take advantage of them like that.
Right. Oh, well, that's cool. My next one will be MSI. I'm gonna start with the 580s now, the 570s maybe. You know what the problem is? The heat, man. Yeah, always the heat.
The MSI. Here's some tips. The MSI Armor series, they are budget cards. They perform fairly well, except the cooling on them is really sucky. The white cooler, those are the MSI Armor cards. The MSI Gaming X cards, cooling is a whole lot better. The only thing that I can think of is that if you like to play with voltage on your cards with like Watt Tool on Windows and things like that, you will not be able to on an MSI Gaming X RX 588 gig. Because I have one, and like, remember I was telling you I was writing that tool for Windows that's like better than Watt Tool?
Yeah.
I actually had to find out what chip it had, hunt down the data sheet, and then write in support for that chip, because it's so new. But it's really awesome if you can, control it and everything. But I'm just saying, if you want to use existing tools like Watt Tool and stuff like that, you're gonna be shit out of luck for, undervolting or control.
How about that twin Frozer like cooler, that external one that they have? You seen those?
Oh yeah, 7950 that I told you about that did really awesome on S-Crypt and it eventually died. It had a twin Frozer 3 cooler. I will always remember that cooler as the one that, apparently, out of all of the fans that I've accidentally stopped with my finger, that one was the highest RPM, because my finger bled under the fingernail after I accidentally, put my finger in that fan.
Oh, dude, I still got a 7990. You know the one with the twin CPU on the board?
Oh yeah, those are the shit. But you got to treat them right.
I got it.
At stock volts, AMD they tortured that card with 1.2 volt stock. That is two 7970 cores on the same PCB. They're sharing heat. What the fuck you volt them at 1.2 volts for?
I got water cooling on it. It's on a water cooling block.
Oh, okay. Then then you can probably leave it at stock volts. But the first thing that I would do is that I downvolt that motherfucker, because it's just like I don't really do water cooling or anything like that. Well, I do have a water cooler on my CPU in my main system, but other than that, not really. But yeah, the 7990, if you undervolt it, it'll run amazingly cool, and it'll have a surprising amount of power.
It's amazing, dude. I wish I had 4 of them. I would love to try to put 4 of them on one machine.
I want a Radeon Pro Duo. That would be fucking cool.
Which one's that one, huh?
You know how your 7990 is 2 7970 cores on one PCB?
Yeah.
The Pro Duo is two Fury X cores on one PCB.
Oh wow! I thought they stopped making the 2-on-1s.
Nope. I think they did. They didn't for the 290X, but when they moved up to the Fury, they did for the 290X, but I forgot what it was called. But for the Fury, yeah, they got the Fury, two of those dies on one PCB. The only thing that I don't like about it is that, see, I hate the Fury X because, well, first of all, I was lucky with my first Fury purchase. I got them, right when it was coming out, and I was able to unlock it to a Fury X. And I was running it at Fury X speeds and everything like that. And the cooler is so awesome that it was one of the coolest cards I had. And I'm like, why the fuck are you sticking this bulky ass water cooler on there that I'm not going to be able to have in my rig, in like a mining rig of like 5 or 6 cards? Why are you sticking this piece of shit on there if it's not even needed? I don't get it. So, yeah, so after my first Fury card, I bought another Fury card, like way later, but I'm not going to buy a Fury X probably ever, mainly because it's just, I don't want that bulky piece of shit there, and I don't need it. But the Radeon Pro Duo, with 2 Fury X cores on one board, that might actually need the water cooler.
A lot of my cards are XFX. I noticed.
Oh yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna show you the.
I think because they were cheap at one. They were cheap at one point in time.
All right, but Oh, I can't send messages. I was gonna show you the link to the Pro Duo. But
send it in. You can send me messages, man. We're like in 10 Slacks together.
Oh yeah, shit. I was trying to use TeamSpeak, but yeah, you're right. Here, let me just. There. All right, but
and a Discord.
XFX, I avoided them for about 2.5 years. Never bought another XFX card because I had 2 XFX 7870s. This was when I was just starting S-Crypt mining, and they ran at 102C. Those cards were shitty. And yeah, after that, I avoided them for 2.5 years, and I'm not one of those people that think that everything happens for a reason, but for some reason, every time I went to a local Best Buy, they always had the what am I thinking? The XFX cards, and they were all they had in stock for the RX cards. And every time I went there, I bought one. And I didn't know why, either 470 or 480. And I didn't know why, because I avoided them all this time. Oh, bitch. I avoided them all this time, and then I figure, why am I doing this now? Well, I started writing my, VRM control tool, and what happened is that while they do have a very, very cheap VRM controller, there's something interesting about it. First of all, the memory controller voltage is adjustable via the main controller. And second of all, there's something else on the bus, and I don't know what the fuck it is. But I think it might be memory voltage. And a lot of times on most cards, especially RX cards, you can't adjust memory voltage because the memory, the VRM controller responsible for the memory is it's not programmable over I2C, so it's just not on the bus. But something is there, and I really think it's memory voltage. And honestly, if these cards aren't that bad. And I'm starting to think, okay, maybe they'll get off my shit list.
Well, they served me pretty good, man. I gotta say, a lot of the ones that broke were not XFX. I had one Asus break on me.
Yeah, and I gotta say, because the only bad experience I had with them were the 7870s, but it was so bad that I avoided them for all that time. And now, I gotta say, at this point, I'm not super impressed with them yet. If they do turn out to have memory voltage, then I will be. But they aren't really bad cards as is right now, except they don't really cool the memory with their their heatsink. There's no real contact there, and that sucks. But other than that,
what do you think of the new Ryzen CPUs?
I don't have one yet, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to test that sucker out.
Somebody out there is listening. You need to get him one of the Ryzen CPUs so that he could test it out. and
Yeah.
mine a CPU coin.
Yeah, I was waiting because I bought Intel finally because I was like, I want DDR4. I'm not waiting, because I bought this computer over a year ago. No, I bought Canetta like 2 years ago now, and she's my main system. And after all this time, it's like AMD took this goddamn long just to put out a CPU and a platform that can handle DDR4. It's like, damn. And so, I'm kind of glad I went Intel for that time, but I think I will, go back to AMD.
Yeah, it's making a comeback, man.
Yeah, and especially because I still have this Freya's old board. One of my miners has a FX8350 in it, because she was a dual-purpose miner. Basically, if my main system ever went down, she was to serve as a replacement main system. So that's why the overpowered CPU.
Gotcha.
And now I have another. Oh shit. That's why I have another system right now. Let me see. The new system that's supposed to serve as a backup main system is named Arctica, and let me turn that one on. And I'll get the CPU information in just a minute. It's a quad-core i7 and has 32 gigs of DDR4.
What are you mining with that?
Actually, she was off for the moment because it got way too goddamn hot in here.
Well, I told you earlier I mine Varium with the CPUs, so
That's probably a good idea, yeah.
like so the best one I have so far is a i7.
Yeah, hold on. Cat proc CPU info. Yep. 4-core, 12-thread, i7 6700. This is my backup main system. And a miner. My main system, Canetta, has...
I have i7 3930.
Yeah, my current main system has... Canetta has a i7 5930K, so it's unlocked for overclocking. And that is... she is a 6-core, 12-thread.
Yeah, that's exactly this one. 3930K.
No, this one's 5930K.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it's similar, but just a newer revision.
This one has 12. Well, it does the best. I get like 1600 with Vericoin.
Nice.
Oh, Varium, not Vericoin. Vericoin is different. It's proof of stake. I really want to try one of these Ryzens.
Yeah, me too. Because
All right.
I'm not actually interested in the one that's come out. I think the one that I'm interested in has yet to come out. I haven't paid too much attention to it lately, but I think the one that I'm interested in has yet to come out because there's one that I think has like a whole new architecture and it's supposed to be like massively parallel. And that's one of the things that I really have been pushing for in computing because I believe that, computers are going massively multi-core. And so many programmers write things in a linear single-threaded fashion because that's generally how humans handle, situations. We do one thing, then we do the other. Maybe we'll do two things at once, sometimes and switch between them, but we don't handle, dozens of things at once very well. And programmers, in my opinion, are just really, really bad at handling hardware that does. And that's why, getting into chip design was kind of hard for me for FPGAs, and doing GPU assembly was also hard for me at first because you have to wrap your mind around that massively parallel thing. So I think that new Ryzen is going to be really good for not just me because I'm already used to it, but for teaching programmers, hey, you can do this a whole lot better by using the hardware that you got in a better fashion by
Right.
using all these cores instead of
Right. Make each core do something special instead of just do it in a linear fashion like you said.
Yeah, or split your work among multiple cores. That's what I do with hash functions sometimes. Like sometimes one hash function is just so complex for GPU that it's not done optimally with one thread. So oftentimes I'll take multiple threads and have, each of them work with, or have each of them do a part of the hash. And, that works out because it's a whole lot faster.
What motherboards do you recommend for mining?
Honestly, I have a lot of varied motherboards. Anything with slots that works.
That's what she said.
Oh yeah.
Anything with slots works. All right, man.
PCIe slots, it's good.
I don't want to make this run too long. We're here over an hour now.
SuperNet aims to give people their power back through technology by no longer needing to rely on third parties such as exchanges, banks and services, giving you privacy at the same time. SuperNet Technologies is the most anonymous technology being worked on currently, with a team of developers working diligently daily. SuperNet aspires to be a creative, innovative, state-of-the-art solutions provider which provides individuals opportunity, personal satisfaction and value. You can find out more at www.supernet.org and join our Slack with over 2,500 people.